those are some of the biggest ones. Losing your job, which is a space that a lot of people are in right now, or being furloughed or laid off while we're dealing with COVID-19. You're grieving the possibility of not coming back. What did I, and now that takes us to the stages, you know. You're going from denial. I can't believe I lost my job. Then they get laid off. Why did I get furloughed? Then you begin to bargain with yourself or someone else. Well, maybe if I would have go to work, then maybe I would get my job, or then about it. I'm never going back to work. Then of course we get a call, we apply. Okay, I'm good. I can move on. Ready for the job. That's kind of what it looks like. So that's just an example.
That's absolutely true. Mr. Cleveland kind of gave those concrete examples of what it actually looks like. We, if you think about the grieving process, is just an overwhelming suffering that can be anything. Even what we used to know as normal, and not having that. Everybody has dealt with that in a different way, and for some people it looks like grief. And so anything that is lost, grief, the loss of limbs, people grieve it. And so, you know, if you're experiencing an overwhelming loss to something, then that would be considered grieving.
Are there any different grief and depression?
So absolutely, I body are very much in how we process and handle things, and so there are some physiological changes that occur within our body. You know, people talk about feeling pain. There is a such thing as a broken heart syndrome. Physiologically, your heart is not functioning as it would or as it was due to the overwhelming emotional pain that you're experiencing. I do want to say, though, if you are experiencing any heart pain, it is important to talk to your doctor and not just when it is grieving. There are some other things that happen within our body. So there have been studies that show our body produces, we have physical aches and pains in other parts of our back, joint pain, things of that sort. And we often experience changes in their digestive system. They may lose their appetite, they may overeat, they may experience nausea syndrome. So all these things can be associated with grieving. So absolutely, there are some physical signs of grieving.
Which takes us back really to question one. You know, the symptoms of grief and depression cross notes. So everything that I talked about, the conversation is really about depression. We would say some of the similar things. The difference is it's an oval. And for those of us, I think everyone on here, be aware moving forward. We've dealt with it in the past. Okay, with this new information you're getting, you'll see a difference in the way that you deal with it this time. There is a healthy way to deal with grief. We're going to get to some of those things in a moment, but there truly is a healthy. Is that remember, the more that you have to deal with, these wearing your quality of your soul tired. You know, be getting a quality rest. Either you'll be up all night or you'll be sleeping too. You won't be eating the same, as Doc said, and the list goes on. Of course, I won't overemphasize. Doc has said all those, but we just want to emphasize that there's a way to deal with what I talked about. We'll get to it.
Good. Does grief and depression during COVID-19 look different than any other time?
I would say yes, but definitely by default. Just because in our lifetime, we have not had to do a health pandemic of this magnitude. And so I think some of the biggest, and I'm going to speak personally for me, is this dealing with the grief of not being able to travel as leisurely as I would like to. Dealing with the grief of having to be away from my friends and my loved ones that I, as a human being, need that physical touch with, or that physical interaction with. And so, it's been 60 plus days. And so I know that this will not last forever, but because I have been in this state so long, it really feels like, and so it makes me feel a little bit sad. Like I'm losing something. It makes me feel like, man, when am I ever going to see my people again? Things of that matter. So even though, once again, we mentioned during the first question about being acute, that's how some of the acute and small grief and symptoms can look. You really feel like your life will not be the same anymore. And for some people during COVID-19, it won't, even when this passes.
Yeah. Are there any...
Doc is, she's freezing.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. Can't hear anything. Well, I know right now, whatever is necessary, we've been touched by more close to us who have died, or someone that we know has experienced the death. So I would agree. Okay. Okay. Jay. It's going in and out. Well, somebody say it.
You hear me now?
A little bit going in and out.
You may have to connect. Yeah, you connect. You might disconnect and reconnect.
Yeah, I agree. But anyway, we have.
Can you hear me? You know?
Yes, it's going.
Yeah, it's very delayed.
Thank you.
Technology, everybody. We're gonna be all right though.
You got it going. Anyhow.
What's your process? Should be right back.
Okay. So we are dealing with a lot of people who are dealing with this, and so I felt like really, really to kind of deal with where people are. People dealing with And not only just during COVID-19, or then with death that has nothing to do with COVID-19, and then they're not even able to really feel like they can get closure or what other things as well, and almost as if it's overshadowed by people who are dying with COVID-19. And so all of that coupled to people are really grieving and not knowing how to deal with all of the emotions that come with them. And then people are getting it because they're just staying in the house or whatever the issues are. And it's just important for everybody to know the difference, to know how to deal with each of them. Doctors, you good about? Still no volume.
No, sir.
Mic is on.
Well,
I'm not sure yet. We'll see.
okay, it came on.
Yeah, strong from Doc. Okay, she gonna try it again.
Okay. Well, give us some other signs of depression, because we dealt a lot with grief while you're talking. Give us a little few signs of depression.
All right, so some signs of depression that you may see. And last week, once again, these things are already really close, is you're eating less. And let me back up. In my practice, I have a private practice here in Dallas as well. It's an agency called Rocket Science Behavioral Services. And one thing that I deal with my clients is all of the diagnosed symptoms. Depression is the trickiest because honestly, you can be dealing with depression so long that it can feel like you're normal. And, I only sleep a couple hours a night. And so, of course, people will say, hey, I only sleep at night because that's all I need. Well, really, you might have been dealing with depression. So you can't get a good night's sleep. You're impulsive about food. That can be a sign of depression because you're looking for something to give you a little rush or a feeling sometimes. Motivation to do things that you truly want done. Not feeling the motivation to do things you truly want to do or otherwise would have done. That's a subtle sign of depression. And so how it looks is, oh, I'm just too tired every day to do this and that. So the code verb, it's very sweet. How it weaves into our lives over a period of time is so important of the things you want to do, of your goals, of your daily life. That's why it's so important, because depression really will take away your motivation. Will have you making decisions that are contrary to really how you really want to live, and you won't really understand the reason why you're doing what you're doing.
That sounds good. I know we just addressed some things about grief and depression, kind of looking during COVID-19. Can we kind of revisit that just for a moment? Depression versus normal times.
Well, here's the backdrop to everything. For the most part, being fed disinformation and everything via social media, via the news, via all this other good stuff. And so what makes this depression different is it's kind of it's mass depression in a way, because you are receiving influences from everybody around you. I go on social media a lot, and the more the media, the more you share, the more your friends share, too many things. Yeah. Because you're eating that information all the time. We talked about it last week. You really, really, really have to continue to be prayerful and in the physical shield your eyes. Home order around the country. Some people never left the house. Maybe get out for a moment. But the past almost 2 months, people have been inside their homes. Because you're isolated and cut off from everybody. Distraction is what you see on your computer or your phone on TV. So that means that you have no outside outlet of possible positive. All you're getting is the worst of everything. So this kind of looks it messages from other people's depression as well. So that should rise in what you're taking in.
May I add something to that, please? I'm back. It's going to look different by nature, just because a lot of what we concerning grieving, especially our loved ones and the loss of a loved one, is very different. And so, happenstance that we get together and we mingle and we gather together in groups after loved one. There's a lot of ways that help because and oxytocin, things like that can help us get through and overcome a lot of our sadness. Now we can't do that now. However, we connected via some form of media that nothing can be worse than just being.
That's good. Oh, there's some.
Oh, go ahead, Doc. No problem.
Well, yes, and I do want to say there are absolutely healthy ways to cope. I think that by nature, anything that is not maladaptive will be a healthy way. There's no cut way of how we should go about the grieving process. However, there are those just foundationally we should and should be going on, such as being honest with ourselves and our feelings. Making sure that we don't, if we are talking to someone, that setting boundaries, and that, okay, if that person is making us feel worse, they talked about last time, it's who we're talking to that's going to make the biggest difference. Also, centering ourselves. There is something to be said about meditation. And for some people, into ourselves, positive, that will help us through the grieving process. And then it all will circle out. Are we getting the possible sleep we can get? Exercise, all these things that make sure that our body in sync, and do what it has to do both physically and mentally.
Like I said, most of it, what I will say, and we have a couple more things, of course, that we can. The healthiest thing I tell people to do, I want to deal with grief. You know, if you, depending on the degree of the relationship that you had with someone, if we're using that as an example, loss of a person, then, you know, if you know them your whole life, there is no way possibly to feel acceptance afterwards. And if, depending on who you can feel some pressure to get better quicker than a human being is programmed or set up to do. So my advice to everyone would be to take your time and not be pressured.
That's good. If someone has recently lost a loved one and is grieving, how do they know when to get help?
Well, that's complicated, but there is a simple answer. Because it's different for everybody. Everybody's ability to process grief is always going to be. However, Doc used the word earlier, and that was maladaptive. Things, in other words, it's negative. Okay? So if there are things that are happening that are adverse to your health, you need to possibly consider getting some outside help for your grief. If you're beginning to have some suicidal thoughts because you feel so depressed, that is maladaptive thinking. If you're starting to have, if you're starting to eat so much that you have gained a large amount of weight that now it is interfering with yourself and medical things you have going on. If you are not, and you are losing unhealthy, those are all different types of things you can see.
Yes, and mention life. You don't have to wait till you're in trouble. Reach out for help.
That's true.
You don't have to wait till things are falling apart. You don't have to wait till it's unbearable to help. And I would say, you know, we talked about this being, none of us know how it was during this time because we've never been here before. So, also the things that we talked about, is they realize that they're in in the grieving process for one reason or another, do a check-in. You know, wouldn't hurt to talk to somebody at least once to just where you are. So then, you know, I would say, given that this is uncharted territory, hurt to just based off of everything that's going on before this happens, you can't base it off of what you remove yourself from or not engage, lack of happening before. So then there are a lot of things that are already changed with you. Then now that we're do a check-in with the professional to understand where you are in that process.
That's good.
Start talking to a friend who you know will be honest with you.
You know what? I want to insert this and just ask this real quick. As a person on the house, observe someone and feel like they are grieving, unhealthy to you, or healthy grieving. How do you deal with someone who's dealing with grief or dealing with depression? Should you give them your space? Should you call someone in to help them get down? You know, that sort of thing.
That's a really loaded question. Everything will have to do with the nature of the relationship and the person that you're engaging with. However, this is where effective communication comes in. That person may not be able to tell you if you're on the right track or not. So And not taking offense to that, just because they that time in the way that you were trying to give it, not taking offense to that. A lot of times when they, it's hard for them what they need at that time. It's only after they see it or receive it do they know. And so just understanding that even though you have the best intentions in helping, do what you can. And when they ask for that space, and that may be one approach.
Another thing, some people don't know how to ask for help or comfort. And so that kind of is a piggyback to what Doc is saying, because with the person, even if you may not know the person too well, let's say, the environment, or if you're associated with them through a friend, helpful to say, hey, if you need to want to talk with pushy lying to people, that can be helpful. Some people actually are open to talking to a stranger or someone they don't know as well, because they may feel that it may be a little more objective. So you really do have to follow your heart, and be sincere when you're asking people. As Doc said, grief is complicated, trying to figure things out. Maybe sometimes you want to wait until you're led to do it. It's always appropriate for the most part, depending on the situation, to say, hey, if you need anything, when you say it, you gotta mean it.
Mm-hmm. Person, give their minds a break from thinking about what happened. That wouldn't necessarily be considered. I often use the water bottle analogy. You have a water bottle, and so allowing the person that release to make room for more, right? Water being the analogy of some of the stress that's going on. And sometimes getting their minds off of it is just what they may need to make their talking about whatever they're grieving about. If you can remind them of happy times and help.
That's good. That's good. I tend to, and this is, think it's a bit insensitive, but I think the same thing. From my experience, people normally get through things better when they have something to be happy about versus just waddling, dealing with it without a break, if you would. With the risk of settling redundant, is there a proper way for everyone to agree?
I think, from a behavior we talked about, or I talked about, and Mr. Cleveland kind of chimes in with some additional information on ways to cope during the grieving process. I think it is important to not put ourselves in a box about how any of those things should look. So that's by mere fact of, from a human nature standpoint, of the things that are helpful. However, what that looks like from one person to the next varies. And there are a myriad of ways that people, how they grieve by the things they maybe do or don't do. But using those things we mentioned before as foundation, it's just a way of helping make sure that whatever you're doing is healthy.
as we kind of discussed before, sometimes people necessarily talk about it. If something happens, most of us do not know any roadmap to get there. And I know we're dealing with loss of a person, because the see that acceptance looks different to a lot of people. When they're about moving through and remember a loved one, I tell you, truly understand what the word memorial is. You know, remember them in memorial, meaning focus truly on the good times. You know, remember them in the best light that you can. People think that acceptance does not look like I'm not crying, it is sad anymore. Crying and sadness are regular emotions. Acceptance looks like my close relationship, just as close as my mother, was my grandmother, who died in the year 2000. Now we're in the year 2020. It's been 20 years. However, although I have a grieving process, I know wonder how much I do think about and ponder on her. So even while I'm thinking about the good times, I still may feel myself getting a little emotional at times. Okay, but I'm accepting she's gone. Feel wonderful. I think about the books she get me, the $5 bills she used to get me.